Hey, good afternoon, Miss. I want to present my topic. The topic is the community of Latin America and Caribbean states. In Spanish, it's known like CELAC. Okay, we have the history. Okay, the history. The community of Latin American and Caribbean states, CELAC, is now like a political and economic organization who try to take good progress in the development of the Latin American states and the Caribbean states. It was created on Caracas, Venezuela on 2010, but in the context of the signature of the Caracas Declaration in the third summit of Latin American and Caribbean states and the 22nd summit of the Rios Group, who was allied with this other summit. In that moment, it was signed the Declaration of Caracas in Venezuela. This is very important because as you can see in the photo, we can see Hugo Chavez, Nicolas Maduro. So Venezuela always have been very important to these questions. We have the antecedents, the Panama City. The Panama City is important because in those times, in the 19th century, we have the participation, the active participation of Simón Bolívar. Simón Bolívar is known like the Salvador of Latin America, specifically the South of America, because in those times, the actual Colombia, it was known like the Great Colombia. Panama, Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, it were some members of this great country. So in the freedoms fights, the Congress is known the anti-patriotic Congress of these times. It was in action on June 22nd and July 15th and the 18th. So it in that moment failed, obviously, but it's an important antecedent because Simón Bolívar fought of this manner. The organizational structure, we have the organizational structure is not a linear map because every part in this map depends of the creation. For example, the Troika depends of the creation of the pro tempore presidency. The pro tempore presidency is not a good established group because every time or every year who they consider, they change the authorities who are in this group. We have the head of the state summits who, for example, we have the presidents of republics, the prime ministers, and other governments. We have the foreign ministers meeting who are composed of the most important personalities of every government. The pro tempore presidency and the Troika, they are very united because if don't exist pro tempore presidency, don't exist Troika. The Troika is like a meeting where in a base, some members take important decisions. National coordinators meeting, who they are to, as the name say, coordinate the events, the most important events like summits, congress, or another meeting. And the specialized meeting. The specialized meeting is or have the purpose to take topics very delicate, like or difficult. Like for example, in these times, a typical topic is the pandemic of COVID-19. This is very common this time, and we have the, for example, the increase of prices in the market, in the international market. Goals and future goals. We have the, for example, the first time the promote of political consultation. This involucrate the international law, the respect to the international law, and has the how the institutions can function in in the order to respect the sovereignty of every state. We have in the second part the advance of Latin American Caribbean agenda, because, for example, in the United States or other countries, they have a great number, or the majority demography is about the Latin American citizens. So that is very important to understand the advance of this agenda. In the third part, we have the position of the region. That depends of the goals that every organization have, but in this case, the CELAC, we have, for example, don't use the force, the international force. Is unbelievable that how this organization can accept the international force, of not in all the cases, but exist some organization who thinks that the force is not important, or is close to because exists a risk to invade some country, and they can avoid that. The fourth, you can see in the photos, the authorities of this Latin American state are very interesting to talk about difficult topics like the economical, political, and social situation that we are past this time. We are passing this time. The fostering regional integration that involucrate the human rights, the international amnesty, for example, the United Nations, FAO, and other organizations who are or have the objective to take more action in these cases. And finally, the function of the organization. This is the resume of every function: coordination, promoting, fomenting, and we have the development. The development in the economic area is important for CELAC. And in those times, the CELAC was created to this because Venezuela was passing an economical situation very difficult, and they tried to pass with another expectative. But as you can see, Venezuela have a great economical problems right now. And the political change they consider because in some countries exist dictators like Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua. So the CELAC have this idea and promoting the dialogue, as we can see in this point. Yes, in the 4th point, the dialogue is very important for them. Okay, that's all for this time. Thank you very much. I know that exists more information about this topic, but these are the most important aspects that we can break out in this time. And we have, for me, it's an honor to speak about the political and economic organization like CELAC. Thank you very much, and thank you.